The Indians have always had a clear idea of who they are and what their history was, but there was no question they had no voice.
The story here for me begins with the Kingston and Gananoque Mississauga Ojibwe. They were nomadic hunters and gatherers. They were being marginalized into the unsettled areas of Upper Canada. At Grape Island, there were 2 schools for carpentry and home economics. They were silenced from their language, and in losing their language, they lost their culture and their traditions. So they only spoke Ojibwe in their minds or in closed quarters where they couldn't be caught because it was punishable.
We were placed on reservations. We couldn't leave the reserve until we signed a paper permitting us to leave the reserve. And we had to sign on that paper how many days we're going and when will we be back, and also who our relatives are on that paper, because if we don't come back, our relatives are rounded up and put in jail until we do come back. They took all the kids and put them in residential schools. And those kids, they weren't to talk their language, they weren't to believe in equality that Creator gave us, that we were created equal with land, plants, and animals, but instead that God gave dominion of land, plants, and animals to human beings.
It was part of Sir John A. Macdonald's national dream to populate Canada. The Métis wanted to be a part of that. Louis Riel had a strong faith in the government. He believed that they would believe he was taking up this opposition because of what he wanted for his people. In actuality, Louis Riel was taken to Regina and he was executed on November 16th, 1885. It is speculated that for John A. Macdonald, it was easier to have one man sacrificed than to admit that the voice of the people in the Northwest Territories had gone unanswered.
At the end of the 19th century, it was just assumed that in about 50 years there'd be no more Indians left. They'd all be gone.